Hello everyone, thank you so much for clicking on today's video and welcome to my channel. This particular story has a very peaceful ending, which I think is good because honestly I've been putting out a lot of intense stories lately. So I do hope that you enjoy this. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Anyway, on to the story. I, a 28-year-old male, have a sister who's a 16-year-old female, and we live together. I don't know my dad, but when I was 6, my mom met a great guy that I consider my real father, and they had my sister. Now, when my sister turned 8, our parents died in a car accident. I was 20 back then and became her legal guardian, and have been raising her alone since. I had to sacrifice a lot for her. It's been tough for the both of us, but we managed. I love my sister a lot, and I always put her first. When she was 15, she met a 16-year-old boy at her swimming pool club, and he became her first love and her first real boyfriend. He always seemed like a great guy. I like tinkering around PC parts. It's my hobby. After saving for a bit, I bought high-end PC parts and built it myself. I also bought a very expensive OLED monitor. Now, I let my sister and her boyfriend use the PC when I'm doing something else or when I'm not at home. Her boyfriend has always been very careful when using it and never did anything that would make me suspect him of doing something bad to it. I went hiking for 2 days and left my sister in her boyfriend's mom's care. I came back home Sunday evening and almost fainted. There was no monitor. I panicked and called my sister. She told me that her boyfriend, quote-unquote, borrowed it for a day. I rushed to the boyfriend's apartment, went into his room, and there he was, gaming on that monitor. I tried to be calm and said that I'm willing to forget this happened if he apologizes. He looked at me and said, "I thought I could borrow it. I'll be using it for another 2 hours. Wait, okay?" The monitor was $1,500 and the rule was that no one but me can move it from my desk. They agreed to this. I became furious. I told him that I'm not going to yell at him, but I am taking it back now. He seemed annoyed but let me take it back. His mom was at work, so she had no idea what he did. My sister was just watching from the side, clearly knowing they both broke my trust. She apologized for the both of them, but to me, it wasn't enough. I wanted him to apologize, but he refused. The next day, I found him using my PC. He didn't ask if he could. I got angry and I told him that unless he apologizes now, he's banned from entering the apartment and my sister is grounded for letting him do it. He started yelling at me that I don't know how it is to be poor. Side tangent, I do. I have effing raised my sister having $5 in my bank account at times and had to manage. But now we're doing well, so I kind of get him too. Then he called me an a-hole and left. My sister started crying, saying that if I don't go back on my word and let him visit, she will hate me and will go no contact once she turns 18. I feel like I'm lost in this situation as I don't want to lose my sister and I have to let go so she doesn't hate me because she hasn't talked to me for the entire week. So, am I the a-hole? Someone commented, "Boyfriend thought it was okay to steal your monitor? Not the a-hole. Also, what's the make and model of the monitor?" To which OP replied, "I think he was the impression that since I let him game on it as much as he wanted, he could test it out with his PC. It was also a bit of my fault for trusting him so much. The monitor is the new Alienware 34 curved QD OLED gaming monitor. Fine. He can come over after everything, but the computer's locked up. Let's see how long he's interested in your sister when he doesn't have access to the better things in life. Not the a-hole." To which OP replied, "What he did was really weird, but he had been dating my sister since before I bought my PC. We aren't really rich, just able to afford a life better than the average. I don't think he's gonna lose interest in her, because ever since I banned him, he didn't give up on my sister or anything. I might change my mind and let him come back, but in which case I'll tell him that he can never use the PC again. Someone commented a very long comment, but a portion of it was the following. Does she realize how much you've done for her? How much you care about her? If she doesn't, you need to help her see it. If she does, you have to challenge her and say, this is the payback. I gave up my life and did everything for you, and you're willing to choose breaking rules and disrespecting over loving me? Someone else replied, I was honestly with you until this particular part was mentioned. Never ever try to guilt someone like this. Ever. You don't take care of family, so you can't use it as a weapon against them when you're feeling like they're misbehaving. To which OP replied to the second commenter, you're right. I've never used it against her, nor will I ever. I've decided on my own to raise her, and I did it out of love for her, not duty. I did not treat my parental responsibilities as a means to win in arguments. I think it's awful. I do need to have a conversation with her, and will try to manage to sit down with her and her boyfriend to have the talk. Someone commented, not the a-hole. Oh boy. This guy is trying to use his economic situation to justify his horrible behavior and disregard for the rules. I would follow up with the boyfriend's mom. At 16, he could get into some real trouble for pulling this kind of stuff. He's testing your boundaries to see how far he can push his luck. Your sister is stinging from her first love. The silent treatment sounds pretty normal. It'll last until she needs you for something. Did she tell her boyfriend that it was okay to do what he did? Did she encourage it, or did he push her? The guy sounds like trouble, to be honest. I think after a few years she'll be thanking you. Try the old, taking her to her favorite place routine and see if she'll open up. Good luck, OP. You made the right decision. To which OP replied, I talked to his mom and she also apologized for his behavior. She did, however, ask me to let him come back in. I don't think that my sister let him do it. She knows how much I value the PC, but I've always been fair with it. She could have always used it whenever she wanted. I got her a PC of her own as well, worse in terms of parts, but still plays all the games that she plays. The thing is that they've been dating for over a year, and not even once has he seemed like trouble. I have a really hard time explaining what exactly happened, as I like to go on a hike for 2 to 3 days every 2 months, and they never did that before. I'll sit down with her, and then with her and her boyfriend and have a talk. I'll try to handle it as best as I can. Someone commented, you're the a-hole. I get it. That's a prized possession, and we're possessive of our prized possessions. But is a single breach of materialistic trust worth the pain that you are insisting on causing? You're taking actions to protect your monitor at the expense of the trust of your sister and her emotional well-being. No harm was actually done. Nothing was broken. Take a few deep breaths and let it go. Restate and clarify the boundaries, get their agreement, and carry on smartly. You can even set up a remote monitoring setup for your computer if you want, but your pettiness is causing disproportionate emotional pain. OP replied to this comment with, well, I get your point, and it was my logic as well. My problem is that all I wanted was a sincere apology from her boyfriend, so he can admit that what he did was wrong, because it is. We had simple rules. They can use the PC whenever I'm not using it, for example if I'm at work or just generally not at home. But they absolutely cannot tinker with it or move it somewhere else. For reasons unknown to me, he refused to apologize. In his mind, the fact that my sister apologized is enough, but to me it isn't. My sister realizes that what they did was wrong, but also picks her boyfriend's side. After reading the responses and many advices, I decided that I will let him in, but ban him from using the PC. I will also be having a conversation with my sister first, then with her and her boyfriend. I just want to get to the bottom of it. It's been a few days since that post. I thought I'd update everyone on how it turned out. Like many users told me, banning him completely from entering my house was maybe a bit too much, but I was valid in banning him from using my PC ever again. First, I sat down with my sister. I was prepared for her to be silent and say nothing or throw a fit, but she honestly surprised me. She started crying and apologizing to me, saying that she understands her behavior towards me was awful. She told me that her boyfriend was nagging her the entire Saturday, that he really wants to test out his PC with my monitor, but he was really scared to ask me. He basically begged her for the entire time, until she finally gave in. She knew it was a bad idea, but despite her worries, she let him transport it. Many of you were also right to assume that they've taken proper care of the monitor, which was what my sister insisted on. They wrapped it in foil and transported it in its original box. It was a great talk with my sister. We spent Friday together, we talked, chilled, watched something, and talked some more. I told her that I know she's just my sister, but I've been somewhat treating her as my child and love her to death. As wrong as that sounds, I have put so much time into raising her, it's hard to think of her otherwise, which is maybe why I've been a bit harsher with her. She started crying again and told me that she understands it. I've been great to her the past several years, and that she loves me too. We established new grounds and new boundaries, which she completely agreed on. I told her that her boyfriend can visit her, but he's going to remain banned from using my PC, and this is his second and last chance. I told her that she won't stay grounded, but she's banned from using my PC for a month as punishment. She accepted it. I told her that I wanted to talk to her boyfriend as well. She called him and he came. He looked like a beat-up dog, honestly. I told his mom what happened, and I think she had a bit of a chat with him. Second time, because the first time she claimed I'm an a-hole as well, because he started with a deep, long apology. Many of you were right to say that he thought of me as a good friend and not his girlfriend's parent. I explained the situation to him and he agreed on all of the rules and his punishment. He also offered to wash my car for the whole upcoming summer, which I told him it's fine, but I will be paying him for that, since I don't want him to do me a freebie. He also promised to never nag or beg my sister for this kind of things and apologized to her as well. So yeah, that's how it ended. A bit peacefully, I might say. A lot of you helped me a lot to understand it better, and were mostly right about how it's going to play off. I used your advice during the talks and it really helped me out. OP then clarified in the comments. He said that he accidentally threw away the foam that originally came with the box for the monitor. He says that he bought bubble wrap and said that the use of the term foil might have been a poor choice of words. So in case he ever needed to move the monitor, he'd use the bubble wrap as some sort of additional layer of protection. So guys, what did you think about this? Honestly, I thought that OP was extraordinarily mature in the way that he handled it. Yeah, I could definitely understand him getting very heated initially when he saw that his sister's boyfriend had the monitor in his place and just wasn't apologizing. I would have felt the same way. That's practically theft. But again, I do appreciate that, especially after talking to Reddit, how OP was able to center himself and how he was able to effectively communicate with both his sister and her boyfriend. I personally strive to always better my communication abilities. Anyhow, if you did enjoy this story, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more stories from Reddit with updates.